Today's adventure brings us to Brookfield Square Mall, located Brookfield, Wisconsin, and a look at the other side of the iconic entrance, one of them, for Brookfield Square, only to see one of the staple stores completely erased from existence. They've actually done so much tearing down that the parking lot has come all the way out here. Usually you could enter right from here. I mean, you still can, but it's just there's no going back. There's no going forward. Look at all this concrete. What remains of Boston store. Used to stand right here and kind of overlook before Boston store was completely ripped down. Kind of gave me Back to the Future Twin Pines Mall vibes. Now just covered in, you know, dump trucks, construction zone. Welcome to today's video as a recording of the Saturday, December 28th, 2024, standing in front of, it's a sad day. This has been in the works. I've noticed that they started tearing down Boston store. Now Boston store has been closed for over a year, maybe 2 years. Heck, it's probably been 3. Where's the time gone? Finally ripping it down. Now I'll get into what exactly they're going to do, why they're ripping this down, why they decided to completely remove this part of the mall. They do have plans, but as far as the stores, the shopping, is this a dead mall? And in just a matter of a week or two, they've really done a lot of damage. I mean, there was a lot more of the front here, driving past here in recent days, weeks. Today, I mean, I'm glad I came when I did, because I would have waited another week. This would all be gone. I mean, it's Saturday and they are, you know, full crew working. And you know what? One of the last remaining warmer days in Wisconsin for 2024. At 44 degrees, feels like 29. It is a little brisk out here, but you know, we had chances of reaching 50 degrees today. So yeah, to kind of close out, you know, one of the last remaining days of the year could be the warmest. And a little backstory on Brookfield Square Mall. This is one of my favorite 80s, 90s malls. In fact, it was built long before then, 1967. Just opened a little while ago, showing the popular. So you know, still some popular hours here, even though the mall is pretty much a dead mall. But in fact, opinions kind of arise on that. You know, is it a dead mall? Not quite, not completely dead, but sharply declining. So we'll take a look for ourselves and check out what remains at Brookfield Square, one of my favorite malls from my childhood. Coming off a very busy Moreland Road, there's an updated McDonald's. Actually have not been there for a long time. Haven't stood in front of the US Bank here in this very spot for probably 30 years. I can see it looks like there's a golf driving range. I mean, the things you don't even notice just driving by, because when you come over here, and this is kind of a Back to the Future vibe here, you know, where Marty runs down. I know we're not even close to California, but you know, you do have that, you know, that 80s feel that remains. You know, you're always focused on what's happening at Brookfield Square. You see, you know, the construction zone, and then you see all these other businesses. Are they stores? I mean, we have Barnes & Noble. In fact, they're all restaurants. The shopping here, which we're about to step inside to see what remains in the actual mall part versus what kind of resides now on the outside of the mall, and what their plans for over here. Why are they ripping this down? You know, it's so much different that I didn't even notice that walking in over here. The reason I kind of parked on this side is I'd always walk into this side entrance. But because of the construction, it didn't really dawn on me looking at this from afar. That's where I would walk in. So I actually kind of wanted to look in to see what we could see. I mean, there'll be a point where we'll be able to see, but this was the entrance that I'd go in, and now it's just completely roped off. So the store came all the way out here. I mean, where this is fenced up, this was all up to this road, and then you have the fish market. So I'm gonna have to walk down here towards Barnes & Noble just to get in now. Well, it's a good sign that the doors still work. So dead mall it may be, kind of sound like Master Yoda here, but an open mall it is. And there's Barnes & Noble already open. A few stores. I mean, there's gonna be some stores here, but then there's gonna be a lot of vacant stores, and it's good to see people actually in the mall walking around today. And when this mall was, you know, at its peak in the 90s, early 2000s, this was a finish line. I always like to come up here and just kind of pay my homage to Finish Line. It was a store that, you know, there was all these shoe stores, clothing stores that you go to Foot Locker, you go to Champs, you go to Finish Line, and then you decide, you know, which store had the shoes you wanted to get, because, you know, you're only get to get one pair. Now they're advertising for the movie tavern. Also Buckle, and I think that Buckle has moved. This isn't where Buckle was, but they're advertising for a store in front of another empty vacant store. I used to go to Buckle. I don't think they're still here. I remember the last time I was here, I was actually looking to see if places like American Eagle, like Buckle, were in fact still at this mall. They in fact did have Santa here, so always a staple at Brookfield Square. A lot of malls having the meet and greet with Santa. Actually having this set up, pretty good sign. You know, you're seeing all the empty stores, and the holiday memories. Brookfield Square, coming over here, meeting Santa. Maybe the Easter Bunny will be here, but there's the classic photo area. I'm meeting Jolly St. Nick, who went back to the North Pole. And it's interesting that all the stores that are still around, all on this end now. You have Express, Bath and Body Works, The Loft, nice VR simulator over here, H&M. And then at the end is where Boston store used to be. Should have a lot of candy though. You know, I saw this walking in. A lot of areas where you can still get stuff, put actually quarters in. And then the new food court, which is just machines. Right next to one empty is Holiday Treasures. Entire store 50% off, which is not a good sign because this is a year-round store. Get Michael Jordan right there. A year-round Christmas store at the mall. 50% off. You gotta wonder, could this be the last season for Holiday Treasures right here? At the end is Boston store. So the interesting thing of what they're doing, and I'm trying to get my bearings, because this wall right here, these doors are new. This is not how it used to look. There was a way to leave on here, on this end. A lot of room. There were fake trees, and they have brought this in. This was like a pillow store, one of the best Hallmark stores I've ever shopped at. And then, you know, Champs would be a little bit further down. Now they have moved this wall in, and this is actually getting ripped down. Look at this. You can get right in here. You gotta wonder how safe it is. Like, the beams held up right here. Yeah, right here. This is where this would be the entrance, and then the entrance to Boston store, and then right here. So I would have walked right in here originally, because I'd parked right at the end, and I'm sure these doors are locked. Oh, oh my gosh, you can walk right out. Look at this. Look at this. I didn't know if we were allowed to. We actually could have my foot propped, holding the door open. Yeah, this was the entrance. This is cool. It's sad to see, but also cool at the same time. This gentleman's backing out. So maybe I could have just, because I had parked right down there, maybe I could have walked in and came in like this very spot. The reason they're ripping it down is they're gonna build apartments right here. So, you know, what malls are doing, you know, the stores, another gentleman leaving, closing, now they're making it livable. So we have all those restaurants on the other end. You know, you have the Barnes & Noble, all these other places to eat. People are deciding to build up at the end of malls, condos, apartments, and in fact, that's why they're ripping this down. It will be apartments right here. So these were existing doors that they just moved over here. You can see this is all new. So are they temporary? Because they're old. They're not brand new, but you can still see the we're open, the hours of operation, and we can get back in here, back into, you know, the new entrance for Brookfield Square. So with the apartments that are going to go over here, I don't know if there'll be underground parking. I'm guessing there will be, and maybe this will be, you know, a way to get to that spot. You know, to see other people kind of paying their respect to probably a store that they shopped at a lot. I mean, I would go to Boston store when I needed, you know, kind of to step up in the clothing. And it's a shame. It's a shame to see. Right here was my favorite Hallmark store. They had the best stuff here. And also 60% off at H&M. Be interesting if they, I mean, there's still going to be stores. I mean, you can see it's not going to be apartments, it's whole, you know, restaurants. I mean, there's still going to be some shopping here. It's just going to be very, very selective. So the mall is not dead. It's just in a massive transition, and you got the mall walkers. Gosh, did you ever shop See's Candies? Did you ever get candy around Christmas time at See's? Forgot all about them. I'd always get like my grandma, you know, like what do you get grandmothers? You get them See's candy, you know, just kind of, you know, gifts for coworkers. Some candy boxes. Actually today, or was it yesterday, it might have been the National Day for boxed chocolates, and I'm sure See's would have been a very busy spot. There was always waterfalls coming down here, and the water's completely turned off right outside of JCPenney's, which I'm not sure, it looks like they're still open. I think that they open at the top of the hour. A lot of other stores have opened, and I was under the impression that the mall opens an hour ahead of, just to get out and mall walk, and then the stores would open, you know, an hour later. But a lot of the stores are already open. But JCPenney's one of the only stores that have not opened yet. There's Shaq. Look at, really big deal. We found Shaquille O'Neal at Brookfield Square. And some of the kiosks, the vendors over here opening up. So yeah, I think a lot of places wait until, you know, an hour after the fact. But other stores have opened already. Just kind of a different timing. We're always like dead areas, even in the peak, in the 80s, the 90s at this mall, before the actual food court was created. There was a Wendy's down here. There was the Pizza by the Slice, and it was changed so many different names. And you'd have to go all the way down here. There was like Aladdin's Castle would be down on one of these ends. Now there's the public restrooms, and then the exit. Not a lot of stores, more candy. But then they built the food court, and you know, all the restaurants were merged into that one area. We'll take a look at the food court. You'll be shocked at how the food court does look now at the end of 2024. Can't believe Claire's has lasted as long as they have. They have a toys, games, and calendars. End of season, 40% off, almost everything. Champs would be down here, Foot Locker, Buckle. So I don't think Buckle is here anymore. It would be down at this end. It's hard to get your bearings when you're walking in different areas, but you would come out here and most of all those stores would be off to the side. And Suncoast Video was in one of these spots. Kind of how this glass comes out. I'm not sure if this was Suncoast. We were here about a year ago, and I kind of pinpointed where some of those stores, Borders, KB Toys, Suncoast Motion Picture Company, I always call it Suncoast Video, Woolworths. You can see, you know, kind of the mall at one point, like before they started doing the remodels, when all these stores, Woolworths, I mean, it was just, that was the place. You would always go to Woolworths every time you came here. Woolworth, and then Sears, which I'm heading down to where Sears used to be. And that's the outside of Sears. You'll be stunned on how that looks now. See what's left of Victoria's Secret over here. It took up massive real estate. Here's where Lids used to be. It would always come here looking for hats. And it even looks like the Castlecade right outside of the food court, where there's like 1 or 2 restaurants remain, is kind of downsizing themselves. There's a lot more in this room at one point, and a lot of open space. I wonder if actually GameStop used to be in here. You can see the theming. So when you come to the mall, you'd always go to GameStop, late 90s, early 2000s, and now it's the Castlecade, only to be kind of stripped. But they do have a new cabinet. I haven't seen this NBA Jam for a long time. Looks like they put an LCD screen in here. Not a lot left at the Castlecade. And a Pac-Man's arcade party. So, you know, one of the first multi-cades, but there was so much more in here just a few months ago. This is all that remains. I hope they're not on their way out. No signs of, like, you know, anything for sale in here. Just asking for everyone to be courteous. But yeah, not a lot left. There were huge machines. Look at that food court. They move everything down here and then there's nothing left. Used to be a Rocky Rococo's Pizzeria over here and Five Guys, and then they changed it to a chicken restaurant. Now they have built up this end, and at the end was where Sears was, and kind of when the revamp started. Still a sports store here. If you remember, on Small Business Saturday, we stopped at Waukesha Sports Cards, their main store. They actually have another store at the mall. And Spencer's has remained at this mall for so long. They actually have $10 cash in on clearance going on right now. So right here at the entrance to Brookfield Square, the movie tavern is where Sears was. This was the Sears side. You had the JCPenney side and then the Boston store side. Those were the three. I'm guessing every mall that we grew up with had those 3 stores. And then across, I was like to pay my homage to Toys R Us. Right past this convention center was the Toys R Us, where I got my Nintendo Power Glove. Great Christmas gift, 1989. And it's a shame, you know, they put up the apartments, which they're going to do over here. A lot of apartments will be put up here, you know, hotels, and a place for them to all, you know, hang out. Everyone, whether you're staying in the hotel, in the apartment, is, you know, at this mall now with restaurants, with movies, and then of course surrounding restaurants across on the other side of the parking lot. This is what malls 2024 and beyond are transforming into. Right where I'm standing, this was the entrance to Sears. Look at this. It's incredible. And that was Boston store, so the part that they completely ripped down, that was that iconic entrance into Boston store. And you know, the shame is that, you know, they lose that identity. I know it's outdated, but it's just so nostalgic. You lose this identity to the mall. That's Boston store before they leveled it. Look at all that empty space. You can see right there, Boston store on the floor. dead mall it may be, but you know, kind of the new beginning for Brookfield Square. It's kind of a series that I wanted to start, closing out 2024 and then entering 2025. All the malls in the area, in the proximity of, you know, how some have flourished and how some are completely changing their identity. And it's just so interesting to see, you know, where we started to where it's becoming now. And it's disappointing, it's a bummer, but you can't stop the wheels in motion. This is happening, and it's kind of, you know, this will be the memory of the next generation's mall. Like what we have, going back to arcades and malls, the stores you used to shop at. Now it's going to be the restaurants, you know, where we went to Outback, what movies we saw at this spot. This is the new identity, and it's just something that I want to check out in the area. All malls, the crazy thing, are different, but a lot of them do have those apartments, the condos, adding on to them now. So yeah, it's something to definitely check out. Kind of the weekend video. Every weekend we're gonna stop at another mall. I want to thank everybody for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Kind of a look inside of the movie tavern. I actually have seen some movies here. A little different pace, a little more upscale than the typical movie theater. Good to see Paddington Bears. The nostalgia here, and Craven. I heard this movie's not doing too well, but you know, if you're a Marvel guy, if you're a Marvel fan, a superhero fan, you might recognize him. And I don't know how this Wisconsin mural kind of fits in Brookfield Square. It's just, the ball has changed so much, but you know, it's hard to just pass this up Wisconsin. But mind you, a dead mall, there's still a lot of people, a lot of activity at this mall on a Saturday. So just, you know, it's not doom and gloom. It's just the beginning of something different. You kind of get the Terminator 2 vibes when John Connor goes down one of those not so busy aisles at the mall. You know, the restrooms are right behind me. Not a good sign for the out of order bubbler, but yeah, you get such, you know, movie vibes. Going to old malls. Just wait for you know, the Terminator to come walking right through that door. See, JCPenney's just opened their doors, and there was actually a line of people waiting to get in. So still a lot of life at Brookfield Square. I think I'll exit this way. Now that I know we can get out. Go right through the construction zone. One last look. Guess it's the start of the new beginning. In its glory days, the entrance to Boston Store. Soon to be the entrance to apartments.